the top stories, Prime Minister Drew has praised the work of newly confirmed police officers and said officers' promotions must be based on merit. Regionally, a new report says offshore oil exploration could threaten Jamaica's marine ecosystems, and internationally, at least 32 people have died after a major earthquake struck the Philippines. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Monday, 8th June, and I am Jasmine Thomas. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has congratulated the newly confirmed police officers, describing their work as essential to national security and the country's development. During a ceremony last Friday, the Prime Minister also welcomed the promotion of 6 women to senior ranks within the force and encouraged continued progress towards greater gender representation.
The work you do have a direct impact on those who you save directly and indirectly. The work you do helps to bring security and all of the other benefits that I've mentioned equal, even economic, to all of us and to our country. And I hope with those few words you recognize how important your work is, but you also recognize that I recognize how important your work is.
Dr. Drew said the government recognizes the important role police officers play in the Federation and remains committed to supporting their efforts. He also reminded the officers that advancement within the force must continue to be guided by professionalism, performance, and hard work.
And so it means that this is a force of equal opportunity, where the most important thing is your professionalism, your hard work, and your competence to determine your advancement and promotion team. So congratulations to all of you. It is a proud moment. I think to the Commissioner, the Governor General has signed, so everything is final.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, Garth Wilkin, used the recent Regional CARICOM and UNDP conference to highlight the importance of alternatives to detention in addressing crime and delivering justice. Wilkin was a featured speaker at the conference in May, where he represented on non-custodial sentencing, pre-trial detention, and informal justice mechanisms. Using St. Christopher and Nevis as an example, the Attorney General said the Federation's approach to crime reduction has been built on collaboration among government agencies, law enforcement, communities, and other key stakeholders.
All of the stakeholders, the heads of the various stakeholders, social development, customs, police, the army, myself as the Attorney General, the Prime Minister, advisors, National Security Advisor, Elevate, all of the different elements in our society that are trying to solve this decades-old problem. We meet every Friday. And all the different stakeholders come into a room and we talk and we get updates and we figure out solutions. And that's the only way we can do it. You cannot do it from the Ministry of Justice. You cannot do it from the police. You cannot do it from customs. You cannot do it from National Security Advisor alone. You cannot do it from education alone. You have to have everybody, all the stakeholders involved to actually see real change.
Minister Wilkins said research continues to show that detention alone cannot solve crime and that countries must explore other effective interventions.
Now, the study asks us to confront an important regional reality. Can our justice systems continue relying primarily on detention-based responses while expecting sustainable justice outcomes, stronger public trust, and long-term reductions in violence and offending? And the answer is no. The findings suggest that the correct trajectory is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain.
The Attorney General added that Caribbean countries must continue to develop practical alternatives that improve access to timely justice while reducing pressures on the criminal justice system.
The difficulty is not always legal reform, the difficulty is implementation. Probation systems remain overstretched, monitoring tools remain limited, and public confidence in alternatives remains uneven. As a result, imprisonment often continues to function as the most administratively convenient response, even where more appropriate alternatives exist. If you don't have an alternative program that is actually functioning, how is the court going to order that alternative sentence if they know it's not functioning? They're simply going to put you in jail because the jail functions. So it's very important for us to not just talk about these alternative measures, but have systems in place, have people trained, channel the resources into that so that these alternative mechanisms for punishment can actually work.
Attorney General Garth Wilkin. The National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis is scheduled to meet next Thursday. The sitting will take place on June 11 at the National Assembly Chambers, Government Headquarters, with proceedings scheduled to begin at 10 o'clock in the morning. The order paper and other documents related to the sitting are expected to be released closer to the meeting. The sitting will be carried live on ZIZ Radio, ZIZ Television, participating radio stations across the Federation, and online through ZIZ's digital platforms. Any bills scheduled for debate will also be made available to the public through the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service. And a new report is warning that offshore oil and gas exploration could threaten some of Jamaica's most important marine habitats. The report, produced by research group Earth Insight, examines the Walton Morant block off Jamaica's south coast. Researchers say the proposed exploration area overlaps with more than 11,000 square kilometers of ecologically sensitive habitats. According to the report, the zone includes 99% of the south coast's coral reefs and 97% of its seagrass beds. These ecosystems support both Jamaica's tourism industry and local fishing communities. The Jamaica Environment Trust is calling for greater emphasis on conservation and sustainable development rather than further hydrocarbon exploration. The organization said marine ecosystems are already facing pressures from climate change and overfishing. The report was released ahead of World Oceans Day as debate continues over the future of offshore energy development in Jamaica. And a major gold company has agreed to reserve shares for Guyanese businesses and citizens ahead of the launch of the country's junior stock exchange. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali announced the development during a local content summit reception. He said the new exchange will create investment opportunities for ordinary Guyanese and allow greater participation in major economic projects. The president said the initiative forms part of a wider effort to expand local content opportunities beyond the oil and gas industry. Dr. Ali also revealed that he has asked the Ministry of Natural Resources to review the local content framework with the aim of increasing participation across other sectors of the economy. The Junior Stock Exchange is one of 3 financing initiatives being developed for local investors. Legislation to establish a Guyana Development Bank has already been tabled in the National Assembly, while work is also underway on a diaspora bond program. On the international scene, at least 32 people have been killed and more than 200 others injured after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck the southern Philippines. The undersea earthquake hit off the coast of Mindanao on Monday morning, triggering tsunami alerts across the region. Waves of up to 1.4 meters were recorded along nearby coastlines before authorities later lifted the threat. Officials say the 30-second trembler caused the collapse of a number of low-rise buildings and commercial structures. The province of Sarangani suffered the highest loss of life, with 17 deaths reported, many of them linked to a major landslide. Another 10 deaths were reported in General Santos City, where power and internet services were also disrupted. More than 130 aftershocks, including some measuring as high as magnitude 6.7, were recorded throughout the day. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has suspended classes in the affected areas and promised a full national response to the disaster. And Iran says it has halted military operations against Israel following days of direct confrontation between the two countries. Iran's military command announced the decision in a statement issued in Tehran on Monday. However, officials warned that Iran would respond with greater force if Israel carries out further attacks. The announcement followed Israeli airstrikes targeting defense installations and ballistic missile facilities in western and central Iran. Israel said those strikes were in response to a large-scale missile attack launched by Iran on Sunday night. Meanwhile, United States President Donald Trump has reportedly urged both sides to end hostilities and avoid further military action. Israeli media report that the government has agreed to suspend additional strikes against Iran following requests from Washington. Officials have indicated, however, that operations against Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon could continue if they believe threats remain. We now take a look at the weather. A dry and stable air mass will continue to limit shower activity across St. Kitts and Nevis over the next 24 hours. Today will be partly sunny in general. Tonight will be fair to partly cloudy with only a 20% chance of a brief light shower. Temperatures will reach a high of 30 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit with an overnight low of 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be from the east at 11 to 26 kilometers per hour or 7 to 16 miles per hour, becoming lighter overnight. Seas will range from 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunset today is expected to be at approximately 15 minutes before 6, and sunrise tomorrow morning will be at around 5:36. That brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.